Welcome back, everyone. Today we're talking about strength standards,
Okay.
and specifically for Chinese weightlifters.
Interesting.
So it's not just about, hitting big lifts on the
Yeah.
platform. Like, how do these athletes actually get to compete at the national level?
In China, they've got a whole other level of testing to
Yeah.
even qualify for those national championships.
So what makes it so different?
Well, think about how weightlifters usually qualify in most other countries.
Yeah.
It's,
What a total.
it's all about hitting a certain total
Yeah.
in the snatch and clean and jerk.
Snatch and clean and jerk total.
But in China, it goes way beyond just those two lifts.
So, like, are they running marathons now?
Well,
What's going on?
not quite marathons, but they do have to pass a cardiopulmonary test,
Interesting.
from what we can tell from some documents on Instagram.
Okay.
Shout out to Squat Jerk Journalist and Kurt Album for the intel.
Those are good follows.
Yeah, they are. It looks like this includes a 1-minute climbing test and then a 500-meter test on what we think is a rowing ergometer.
Rowing erg.
Those things are no joke. A real test of your endurance.
So right away, we're seeing that they're emphasizing this overall fitness.
Yeah,
It's not just about raw strength.
right.
So what else is part of this whole testing?
Next is a core strength test.
Interesting.
And no, we're not talking about your typical crunches and planks here.
Oh, no.
Imagine having to hold yourself up while lying sideways with your torso hanging over an edge.
Oh, wow.
Or doing the same thing on your back with a gap underneath you.
Sounds tough.
It's all about that deep, stabilizing strength.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
My core is aching just thinking about it.
Right.
So we've got endurance. We've got core strength.
Mm-hmm.
What about explosive power?
Absolutely.
Got to be key for weightlifting.
I've got a whole module dedicated to that.
Okay.
We're talking vertical jumps, medicine ball throws.
Makes sense.
All about how quickly and forcefully athletes can generate power.
So it's this really holistic approach.
Exactly.
They're looking at all these different aspects.
Yep.
Not just how much you could lift in the snatch and clean and jerk.
And then, of course, we get to the maximum strength testing where
Oh.
things get really interesting.
Now we're getting to the meat of it.
Yeah.
The squats, the deadlifts.
Okay. Front squats, back squats, snatch deadlifts, and clean deadlifts.
Wow.
And get this,
What?
they have strength standards for each of these lifts broken down by weight class.
So there's like a minimum requirement
Yes.
for how much you need to be able to squat or deadlift?
Yeah, to even compete at the national level in China.
Wow.
And the numbers are pretty astounding.
Okay, let's get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But you said there were 5 modules total.
Oh, yeah. Good catch.
What's that 5th test?
So the 5th test wasn't super clear from the source material,
Okay.
but given the emphasis on well-rounded athleticism so far,
Yeah.
it probably involves flexibility or mobility.
So it's not just about being strong, but being able to move well.
Exactly.
Having full range of motion.
Building an athlete who is truly well-rounded.
Not just a one-trick pony.
Right.
All right, so now I'm dying to know,
Okay.
how strong do these Chinese weightlifters actually need to be?
We'll buckle up because to give you a sense of the standards,
Okay.
let's focus on a few key weight classes.
Okay.
For the women, we'll look at the 55, 71, and 87 kilogram categories.
All right.
And for the men, the 73, 89, and 109 kilogram categories.
Okay.
Ready to be amazed?
Hit me with it.
All right, so for women in the 55 kilogram category,
Yeah.
the front squat standard is a whopping 120 kilograms.
Well, that's more than double their body weight.
It is.
That's insane.
And what about their back squats?
Yeah, what about the back squats?
Even higher.
Oh, wow.
133 kilograms on the back squat to qualify.
Okay, I'm starting to see why China is such a force
Right.
in weightlifting.
Yeah.
These women are incredibly strong.
What about the snatch and clean deadlifts?
Yeah.
For the 55 kilogram women, the snatch deadlift standard is 124 kilograms,
Okay.
and the clean deadlift is 124 kilograms.
So just to be clear, these are the minimums
These are the minimums.
that they need to meet to even compete at
Yeah.
the national level.
You got it.
Wow, okay.
And remember, this is just one weight class.
Okay,
The numbers go up from here.
all right, I'm already impressed.
What about the 71 kilogram women?
Yeah, 71s.
Hold on to your hats.
Okay,
For the 71 kilogram women,
okay,
they need to front squat 131 kilograms.
all right.
Back squat 145 kilograms.
Jeez.
Snatch deadlift 147 kilograms and clean deadlift 150 kilograms.
Those are some serious numbers.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see how they just increase
Right.
as you move up in weight class.
Mm-hmm.
What about the 87s?
For the 87 kilogram category, the standards are 147 kilograms for the front squat,
Okay,
156 for the back squat,
right.
142 for the snatch deadlift,
Interesting.
and 154 for the clean deadlift.
Hold on a second. Did you say the snatch deadlift standard for the 87s is actually lower than for the 71s?
You're right, that is a bit strange.
That seems odd.
It could be a variation in the data,
Uh-huh.
or maybe something specific to that weight class.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth noting.
For sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen what the women are up against.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the men's categories.
Okay.
I'm expecting some truly mind-blowing numbers here.
You won't be disappointed.
Right.
Let's start with the 73-kilogram men.
All right.
Their front squat standard is a massive 178 kilograms.
178 kilograms.
And that's just the beginning.
That's almost 4 times their body weight.
Right.
I can't even imagine.
What about the other lifts?
Yeah, what about the other lifts?
Get ready for this. The back squat for the 73-kilogram men is 205 kilograms.
Wow.
The snatch deadlift is 179 kilograms.
Goodness.
And the clean deadlift is 202 kilograms.
Those are just phenomenal numbers.
Yeah.
These guys are truly pushing the limits here.
What about the 89s?
Yeah, 89 kilograms.
Prepare to be amazed for the 89-kilogram category.
Okay.
We're looking at a 199-kilogram front squat,
Right.
a whopping 226-kilogram back squat.
Gee.
That's almost 500 pounds.
Goodness gracious.
Then there's 209 kilograms for the snatch deadlift
Wow.
and 228 kilograms for the clean deadlift.
Those are some truly elite levels of strength.
They are.
And last but not least,
Yes.
let's hear about the heavy hitters.
Okay.
The 109 kilogram men.
Here we go. The front squat standard for the 109-kilogram men is a mind-boggling 223 kilograms.
Oh,
The back squat is an astronomical 254 kilograms.
my goodness.
The snatch deadlift comes in at 221 kilograms.
Okay.
And the clean deadlift is 244 kilograms.
I am speechless.
Yeah.
Those numbers are just beyond.
It's hard to even comprehend the kind of strength and dedication it takes to reach those levels.
It really makes you think
Right.
about
Yeah.
their training and this whole athlete approach.
Absolutely. It's remarkable.
Yeah, and remember, these are just the minimum standards
These are the minimum.
to even compete.
To even compete at the national level in China.
Wow.
It's a testament to their commitment to strength and athleticism.
So here's a question for all of you listening.
Okay.
How do you stack up against these Chinese weightlifting standards?
Right.
Could you even come close to these numbers?
It's a great question to ask yourself.
It puts things in perspective.
It does.
It really does.
It highlights the incredible level these athletes are operating at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about their training methods,
Right.
this whole athlete approach.
Absolutely. Is this the secret to their success? We'll
Yeah.
dig into that more later.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. I mean, it really makes you wonder, does this whole focus on well-rounded athletes
Yeah,
contribute to China's dominance in weightlifting?
it's fascinating.
Because, I mean, they're consistently at the top of the podium.
Right, they're not just churning out weightlifters.
Yeah,
It's like athletes who happen to be really good at weightlifting.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like they're building a solid foundation across the board.
Right. And then layering that weightlifting expertise on top of it.
Yeah,
It's a different approach than what we see.
in other countries.
Yeah, where they may be more specialized on just the competition lifts.
Right. It's almost like they're saying, hey, before you even think about maxing out your snatch,
Right.
let's make sure you can climb a rope for a minute straight and hold a really hard plank,
Exactly.
you know?
And you have to wonder, does that kind of training create more resilient athletes
Yeah,
in the long run?
I think so.
Does it maybe even help prevent injuries
Yeah, that's a good point.
by addressing weaknesses?
For sure, because a lot of injuries happen
Right.
because of muscle imbalances or lack of mobility.
Exactly.
So if you're neglecting certain areas of your body,
Yeah.
you're more likely to get hurt.
It's like building a house on a shaky foundation.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Sooner or later, it's going to crumble.
Yeah.
But if you take the time to reinforce that foundation,
Make sure everything is strong and stable.
Mm.
You know, you're setting yourself up for long-term success.
I like that. And it highlights how the Chinese system
Yeah.
is thinking about the athlete as a whole,
Right.
not just as, a collection of individual lifts.
Exactly. And it's not to say that other countries
Right.
don't incorporate strength and conditioning.
Of course.
They absolutely do.
Yeah.
But this level of emphasis on testing across multiple domains
Yeah.
with specific standards that have to be met
Right.
seems to be more prominent in China.
So they're really setting a high bar
Yeah,
for overall athleticism,
exactly.
not just strength in those two lifts.
Precisely. And it makes you wonder about the potential trade-offs.
Trade-offs, what do you mean?
Well, while this holistic approach has its advantages, you could argue that specializing intensely in the snatch and clean and jerk might lead to higher peak performance.
I see what you're saying.
In those specific lifts.
So it's like breadth versus depth. If you're spreading your energy across all these different areas,
right,
maybe you're not able to go as all in on maximizing your strength.
Exactly.
In just the snatch and clean and jerk.
It's a balancing act.
Right.
There's a chance that an athlete who is laser focused on those competition lifts might be able to hit higher numbers on the platform than someone who's also spending a lot of time training their endurance.
Makes sense.
Their core strength and all these other elements.
So it's like a really fascinating debate.
It is.
Do you prioritize being this well-rounded athlete?
Yeah.
Potentially, reducing your risk of injury,
right,
extending your career, or do you go all in on specializing?
Yeah.
And potentially reaching higher peak numbers just in those lifts?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's no easy answer.
Wow.
It probably depends on the individual athlete, their goals, their training style, their coach's philosophy.
And at the end of the day, the Chinese system is clearly producing results.
Oh, absolutely.
They're consistently winning medals.
Right.
Their athletes are incredibly strong.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that there's always more than one way to achieve success in sport.
I like that.
And that sometimes looking beyond the traditional methods, trying something new and innovative, can lead to incredible breakthroughs.
So for all you weightlifters out there, or anyone interested in pushing their physical limits, maybe there are some valuable lessons to be learned from this Chinese approach.
Even if you don't have access to their exact training regimen, the principles behind their system are worth considering.
Yeah, building a solid foundation in all aspects.
Absolutely.
Strength, power, endurance, mobility, it all plays a role.
It's about taking a holistic view of your training.
Yeah.
Recognizing that strength isn't just about how much weight you can move in a single lift.
Right.
It's about developing a well-rounded, resilient body.
I like that.
That can handle the demands you place on it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So what does this tell us about how the Chinese system might be influencing the future of the sport?
Good question.
And are there any downsides to consider?
It makes you think about their careers, too.
Right. Like, what kind of impact does this have on how long they can compete?
Exactly. Because you always hear about weightlifters having, these long careers.
It's interesting because there's a growing body of evidence that suggests that this kind of holistic approach actually might lead to longer, healthier careers.
Makes sense, because if you're not always pushing to the absolute limit in one specific area.
Yeah, you're less likely to get those overuse injuries.
Exactly.
Can sideline people for months or even years.
Oh, diversifying your portfolio.
Oh, I love that.
But instead of stocks, it's your athletic abilities.
Right. You're spreading the load.
Exactly.
Reducing the risk of a single point of failure.
And that seems to be a key philosophy within the Chinese weightlifting program.
It does.
It's not just about winning now.
Right.
It's about investing in the future of their athletes.
It's a long-term vision.
Exactly. It's a long-term vision that we could all learn from.
Or can.
Whether you're an elite athlete or just someone trying to improve your fitness.
Yeah, building a solid, balanced foundation is essential.
Couldn't agree more so.
So,
as we're wrapping up this look at Chinese weightlifting, what are some key takeaways you hope people listening will remember?
I think, first and foremost, strength is multifaceted.
Okay.
It's not just about how much you can lift.
Right.
It's about endurance, power, mobility, stability.
All those things working together.
All these elements working together.
Be a complete athlete.
Exactly. And secondly, I think it's important to remember that there's always more than one way to achieve success.
For sure.
The Chinese weightlifting system